Hey guys, why not here? And today I decided to do something a little bit different than what I'm used to do. I decided to make a tier list. And which tier list, you might ask, I'm gonna do is a Pokemon game tier list. Something that I've always wanted to do, to be honest. It's very different than the usual content that I put on the channel, so well, appreciate your feedback and I hope you enjoyed. As you can see, we have here every single game so far. Um, while many of them I haven't actually played, I did play all the main series one. And today I'm gonna put them into some categories that I decided to name myself. So we have the would play with my grandkids. So this would be the ones that I really like the game and I see myself in 30, 40, or 50 years, I don't know, still playing the game with my kids and explaining why Muck is named Cup, but backwards. Then we have the can put thousands of hours on it. So these would be the games that I played the most and that I could potentially see myself play. To be played and replayed. These are the ones that I've played many times and I would still continue playing on the console or on an emulator on my phone. A really fun game would be a game that I played, I liked it, I might play it from time to time, but not as often as the others. Was Cool Once is really the game that I played once and that's it. I have a little emoji here because I just wanted to put meh, but apparently it doesn't recognize the meh on dictionary, so just put an emoji for like, yeah, it's just a regular game. I didn't appreciate it that much. I don't want to play it anymore will be for, well, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. I don't want to play that game anymore. And then we have the I'd rather stick a Pineco in my ass than play this game category, which is one that I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have anything there, but we never know. Also, of course, we have the never played category because there are certainly games, as I said, that I've never played myself. Mostly the side games that I never really touched because I couldn't afford them at the time or stuff like that. So yeah, and actually, we're gonna start, and there's one game here that I see that, to be honest, this is so small, I have absolutely no idea which game this is. So, guess this is the first one, and this is where it goes. And Pokemon Shuffle. This is an interesting one because Pokemon Shuffle was probably my favorite side game that they created ever. I really liked it. I think it was a really cool mechanic, very different from the usual Pokemon games that we get. Though they really ruined it with the energy system. So basically, this is the sort of game that you have 100 100 amount of energy, whatever it is. I don't really remember if it's 100, if it's less, if it's more, it doesn't matter. And every time you play a level, you waste some energy, and then you have to wait a few minutes or hours until you get back. And I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather play a pay to win than a game like this. And for that simple reason, this is a game that I don't want to play anymore, even though I actually like the game. Then we have both Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So these should actually go into was cool ones, although I know many people would hate me for that. But I'm gonna say was cool ones because I never finished any of the games. It was funny while I played them, but in terms of Mystery Dungeon, I mostly played the newest ones. So I'm gonna have to put this in was cool ones instead of the May, simply because I know they're actually good games. Pokemon Pinball. So if you don't know, this is a game that not only did you need batteries for your console, you also needed a battery for the game itself. Like that was probably the most stupid thing I've ever seen. I never owned the game. I only played it from a friend of mine at the time who had the game, and yeah, this is really a meh. It's not the sort of game that I would play. Like I would try it out. If today a Pokemon Pinball comes out, I will probably try it. But yeah, I'll spend 2 hours on it and that'll be it. Puzzle League. This is a game that I've never played. I'm not going to rate it. Although one thing that I want to say is if I have not played a Pokemon game, it's really because it never caught my eye. And if it didn't, it's probably because it was bad, at least in my opinion. Is this Pokemon Rangers? Yeah, Pokemon Rangers. This is a fun game, but the only problem that I had with it, and the reason why I'm gonna put it where I'm going to put it, it's not because the game was bad at all. It's simply because growing up, I was not really a very wealthy kid, so I did not have a Nintendo DS, which means that I had to play these games on emulator. And try playing this on an emulator, and you will see why it goes here. So remember, guys, this is my personal list. It's not what I believe that most people would assume the game should be at. Okay, Pokemon Red is very likely the game that I spend the most time on. So I was like what 4 years old when it came out. I played it when I was 5 or 6, and I kept playing until I was probably 16. So of course I played other games as well, but I've played this game so many freaking times that today I can only play it on emulator, and I can only play it on emulator with speed hacks on, because otherwise I would never play this. But this is definitely for me. Let me see if this goes up. It doesn't. How can I put it up there? Wait. This is definitely a game that I would put into, can put thousands of hours in it, because I did, literally. And of course, I will put Pokemon Blue next to it because they basically are the same game, and I actually had both of them. Pokemon Ruby. Okay, Pokemon Ruby was and has been my favorite Pokemon game ever. Again, for the very simple reason that I was a little kid when I had it, and I spent so many hours into this. And also, well, first of all, I didn't really have many friends who played Pokemon, so I had no one who could tell me about tricks and stuff like that. I never knew about the Regis until I once went into the internet and found that out. I never found out of Rayquaza in Pokemon Ruby until I got Pokemon Emerald and saw, like, in Pokemon Emerald they make you go to um, to the Sky Pillar, which is not the case in Ruby and Sapphire. And it's only then that I was like, okay, maybe in Pokemon Ruby after the league, maybe if I go to the Sky Pillar, there's gonna be a Rayquaza, and it's the case. So you actually have Rayquaza in the game as well. And whenever I decide to play a game that is not an Acrom on my phone, on emulator, it is Pokemon Ruby or Emerald or Sapphire, not really, because I had Ruby and not Sapphire, so I always go for Ruby. But yeah, this is definitely a game that I would play with my grandkids. I have absolutely no doubt about it. Pokemon Stadium. So here is another game that I did not have, although I did play. This is a great game, no doubt about it. Like if we're talking about games like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Battle Revolution, this is a great game. It's the animations at the time, because you have to remember that this is a game that was released more than 20 years ago. So this is a game that for me would go into really fun. I would not replay it. I don't see any use in replaying this game. It's just a really fun game to play. The trading card game. So this is another one that I did not own personally, but I did play, and it's actually a good game. If you've never played it, you should try it out. Of course, it's very old-fashioned. It's a Game Boy Color game. It's a really good one, and if you've never played this, you should try, because you will learn about trading card game, although it evolved so much since then. But yeah, it's very different than what you usually have, and this is once again a game that I would put into really fun. Okay, so it's a really fun game. It's not something that I would play again. Pokemon Yellow. So Pokemon Yellow is basically the enhanced version of Red and Blue and Green. And for me, the fact that you could get all the starters, the fact that you had improved sprites in the game, makes this something that I wouldn't mind at all playing with my grandkids. This is for me one of the best games that ever came out, of course, due to nostalgia. We're not talking about mechanics and stuff like that because we know that these games are all broken. The first generation, they're all broken, and we all know that. But in terms of nostalgia, this was awesome, and I would love to play it with my grandkids one day. Pokemon Soul Silver. So, as I said, every single game that came out on the DS, I played them on emulator because I did not own a DS, which is very, very sad, which means that I never owned this game. And I remember that this game was so difficult to hack at the time. There was a blue screen or whatever issue that the emulator had at the beginning, and you needed a code to go through it. But well, this is not what this is about. This game brought you the best animations at the time, following Pokemon, and new stuff like the Safari Zone in Johto. This game, for me, at the time, it had it all. Not sure if it would survive time like many others, but this is a game that had it all. And if I had a DS, and I should ask my grandkid to play a game, well, most of the DS games are good, but this is probably the one that would be most fitting. This one, and when I say this one, it's obviously with hard gold that I will find later in the list. Pokemon Crystal. So we usually say that the second generation are the enhanced version of the first one because they implemented stuff that they wanted to put in the first generation, but they didn't at the time. So they created a second region and all that. But here's my problem with this game. It feels like the first half of the game, which is Johto, goes really quick. You end the league with level 40s, which is just ridiculous. And I feel like the Kanto region after that is so empty. You have a few quests, you battle the gym leaders that are almost all extremely easy to beat. And then you go for red that is extremely overleveled. So while I do love these games, if I had to put this somewhere, it would be probably in to be played and replayed because I don't mind playing it over and over. But it's not like I could put 1,000 hours into this game. So this is the mystery dungeon for the DS. So basically, you already know the story. I played these on emulator. I never finished them. I'm gonna put them at the same level as the other mystery dungeons. I have to. It's nothing against the mystery dungeons. They're really fun games, but I never really enjoyed them as much as I could have. This game, I have absolutely no idea what this is. Let me just take a closer look. It's the other mystery dungeon, but this is for the 3DS. I actually had this one, but here's the thing. I'm gonna put this one I can put in meh. Why? Because I did own this game, I did play it, but I never finished it. Which for me clearly says that if I don't finish the game, it's because I didn't really like it that much. I won't say I wouldn't play it anymore. I would be able to play it again and try it maybe in a stream or whatever. But yeah, it's not the sort of game that I really appreciate. Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red for the matter. So there's actually a fun fact about these games is that they came out in my country in Europe in the same year as Pokemon Emerald. Earlier than Emerald, but in the same year. And generally, I would only have a Pokemon game in Christmas. So for my birthday, generally my parents would get me something else, but then for Christmas they would get me a Pokemon game, very often. And when Pokemon Leaf Green came out and Fire Red, I was like, oh well, this is nice, but it's just Pokemon Red and Blue all over again. And then I saw the commercials for Pokemon Emerald, and the freaking commercial, it had the new battle frontier,
which to me seemed like a completely new game because it was very focused on that. So I felt like Pokemon Emerald was a new game and Pokemon Leaf Green was just a remake. And that was really stupid of me because if I had known, what the hell if I knew? If I had known otherwise, I would have got Pokemon Leaf Green or Fire Red instead of Emerald because I ended up with Pokemon Ruby and Emerald, which are basically the same game with a little modification from one to the other. So, Fire Red and Leaf Green, while they are good games, I would not say that these are games that I would play and replay. I would say that they're just, for me, really fun games. The only time that I played and replayed these was as part of PokeMMO, and this is where I'm gonna put it. Pokemon Pinball, yeah, no. Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum is 100% the best game. I'm thinking about it at the same time as I'm saying it, but probably the best Nintendo DS game. And while I would not put it as play with my kid, I could definitely put thousands of hours into it. Maybe not today. Okay, I would not see myself today grabbing a Nintendo DS or 3DS and playing this game for thousands of hours. But if I had it at the time, if I had a DS when this game came out, I am 100% sure that I would put hours, hours into this. We have again Pokemon Platinum for some reason. Let's just put it on the side. So Pokemon Stadium 2, it's just the same logic as Pokemon Stadium. So I'm gonna put it at the same level as it. So it's a really fun game, but not something that I would play and replay all over again. There's no point into it because let's be honest, what you do there, you can today do in the newest games. It's like you have the 3D graphics but improved. You have well the competitiveness in the new game, so no need to play it again. Pokemon Trozai. I don't think I've ever played this. I do not believe I've played this, and by the looks of it, um, I'm probably gonna be putting this one here. You think? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna put it at because I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember if I played this game. I really don't. So I'm a bit confused here, but whatever. Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. So these games for me are the same as Platinum, but run rank lower. So basically, they are games to be played and replayed, but not as good as Platinum. Clearly, I think we all agree on that. Pokemon Fire Red, so I have to put this one on the same tier as Pokemon Leaf Green, and Heart Gold on the same tier as Pokemon Soul Silver, which is play with my grandkids. This is a game that I believe would be really fun to play with my grandkids. I can imagine, I was no longer a little kid when I played these games on emulator, so I did not have the same feeling. But I can imagine a little kid playing this with the Pokemon following game and stuff like that. It's really fun. Okay, Pokemon Y and Pokemon X, by the way. If I had to choose a Pokemon game to which I could simply do one modification and make it the best game ever, it would be Pokemon X and Y. Why I asked that and why I said that is because the only modification I would do to these games is the story. I would remove half of the cutscenes. It's very, very common today that they had cutscenes to make the game seem longer. And yes, the game will be longer, but you're not playing longer. You're just watching a cutscene over and over and over and over again. And this really cuts into the adventure. I don't like having to start a game and wasting too much time until I can start catching Pokemon and battling. That's not what I like. But in terms of content, this game gave us the best gimmick ever. You all know what that is, of course. We're talking about Mega Evolutions. So I'm actually inclining putting it into would play with my grandkids just for the simple reason that this game was the one that came out with the Mega Evolutions. But at the same time, mm, probably gonna leave it at would put thousands of hours into it. The reason why is I'm gonna explain why I do that. The reason why I don't put it in the top tier is because I have both Pokemon X and Y, and ever since the games or newest games came out, I did not play them anymore, and that has to count for something. If I felt like they were so good or as good as I remember them to be, I would probably still play them. So I'm gonna leave it at this. Pokemon Emerald, like, come on, you all know it. Pokemon Silver, well, this one is gonna have to be at the same level here as Crystal. So there is a little difference here um, between Crystal and Silver. Of course, the game is not exactly the same, and there is, of course, also a difference between what I did with Yellow and Red and Blue that will end up here as well. Is that I put Yellow above Pokemon Red. But the very simple reason why I did it is because I think that the sprite evolution that they had in Pokemon Yellow was much higher than what they did for Crystal compared to to Silver. And the fact that you start with Pikachu and you don't get to choose a starter and then you get all three of them, that's something that was really a big deal at the time. And still today it would be a big deal. So for me, Yellow would stay there with red underneath, and then with silver and crystal, and of course gold whenever I come to it right there. Art Academy. This is a game that I did play, and it's let's say this is a very interesting one because for one, I had such a negative feeling about it. I have no idea today if this is or was a free game or if you had to pay for it. I don't remember at all. But what I remember was that I thought I was going into a Pokemon game in which I would have to draw Pokemon and that everything would be extremely shitty whenever I would draw. And the only memory that I have of it is that I drew a Diancie. And then when you start drawing, you're like, what the hell am I doing? But then you keep drawing and then you start painting and then you add some lighting effects and whatever. And the end result is so good looking that you feel like you're an artist. And that has to count for something. But again, it's not a game that I would play anymore. It's a game that for me was cool once. And that's where I'm gonna put it. Pokemon Blue, we have to put it next to Pokemon Red, of course. Pokemon Dash, I feel like I did try this, but I think this is actually the one that I would put here. What the hell is that game even? I can't even remember. I mean, it's Dash. You run, I guess. I would not want to play this game at all. Not at all. Uh, Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Sky. So this is gonna end up with the rest of the Mystery Dungeons. Pokemon Sapphire. While actually, I mean, I did play Sapphire, but I had Pokemon Ruby. But let's say that it's basically the same game. So every time I have to put them on the same tier. Gold has to go with Pokemon Silver and Crystal, just like Pokemon Green. Well, actually, I'll explain. Uh, yeah, Pokemon Green is gonna go into. I'd rather stick a Pineapple in my ass. Why? Because it's a game in Japanese. It's exclusive to Japanese, and I do not speak Japanese. I just know a few words, and it's very basic. And I think I actually say them really wrong. I mean, so why would I have a play this game if I can play Pokemon Red or Blue? So I think it makes sense. Pokemon Play It, I don't know what this is. I guess this is a Pokemon card game, but I'm not sure, so it will stay here. Is this another mystery dungeon? Yeah. Which one is this? This Explorers of whatever? Okay, you have explorers of time and space, isn't it? No, but I don't know. I'm gonna put it here as well, although I don't remember playing this one, but I guess they're the same. If they're not, then let me know in the comment section because I don't really know. Um, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Okay, so Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are literally the best remakes ever, and whoever says otherwise is an idiot. Because there is no remake better than these. Simply, they bring back Mega Evolution, they bring the story that was incredible, they bring the easy legendary catches, and you can soar through the region with Latios and all that in 3D. So, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that if I love Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I have to love Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. It would actually be pretty interesting to play Ruby and then Omega Ruby with my grandkids for them to see the evolution, what 15 years or so did to Pokemon. Not even 15, it was like 10 years difference. Battle Revolution. Do you want to see why? Well, maybe not see, I'm not going to show anything, but my problem with Battle Revolution is that I did have a Wii. So while I did not have a DS, I had a Wii. But you would say, why do you put Battle Revolution there when you put Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2 in really fun? I mean, technically they're like an evolution of those games. They should be fun. But here's the difference. You can go into Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2, create your team, play, go through some story mode or whatever, and you have a lot of fun. Here, you do not have a team unless if you trade Pokemon from your Nintendo DS. At least that's what I found out at the time. If there is any way to play the game with a set team that you have get in the game, let me know. I don't really know if it's the case because it's been 15 years maybe since this came out and I tried the game, so I don't really remember everything. But the idea that I have is that you needed to have a Nintendo DS with Pokemon Platinum or Diamond or Pearl, trade Pokemons in this game so that you could use them. That's so stupid. So I'm gonna put it here. Pokemon Trozai. Wait, actually, am I missing something here? No, I'm not. That was Pokemon Shuffle. Okay, so Pokemon Trozai, it's the other one. I mean, apparently Battle Trozai. There are two of them. I don't really know these games. Okay, so Pokemon Black, Pokemon White, Black 2 and White 2. These are very difficult games to rank. The reason why is Pokemon Black and White were so hated by the community in general when they came out, and myself included. I was like, who the hell decided that it was a good idea to remove every single old Pokemon from the game, or at least the before the post game? It was extremely stupid. But now, 10 years later, or more actually, you're like, well, now those Pokemon that were in the game are no longer new Pokemon. They are old Pokemon, we all know them. And it's actually pretty fun to play with them. And if we have to be honest, the story in those games is the best ever. Most likely the best ever. Now, if I did have a Nintendo DS at the time, I would very likely, very likely, put thousands of hours into Pokemon Black. I am sure of that. I would get used to it and I would put hours into it. And Pokemon Black 2, of course, this includes White 2, is something that I would not mind at all playing with my grandkids. I'm sure of that. This is probably another Pokemon cards game, but as I have not played it, I'm gonna put it here. Although I'm sure that it would be a cool game to play once. Pokemon. Oh come on! Like no, don't bring this. Actually, no. Pokemon Colosseum. Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness are two games that I never finished. And even though I never finished them, I am sure that I can put them here. Really fun games. I would not like to play and replay them. They're just fun games, both of them. Okay, Pokemon Contest or Conquest actually. I have no idea how many of you have played this, so let me know in the comment section if you have ever played this game. And if you did, let me know what you think of it. Because for me, this game, strangely enough, is a game that I would play with my grandkids. This game is so different than the usual Pokemon games, but at the same time, the, the, the little mix that they did is so interesting. I really, really like this game. Really, really like this game. Pokemon Moon. Okay, another one that I hated when it came out, and I learned to like. This one I can say that I would put thousands of hours into it because I did hone the game, and the simple reason why I did not put thousands of hours into it is very simple. I started working at the time, and I didn't really have too much time on my plate to put thousands of hours into the game. But if I were a kid, I'm sure I would have put thousands of hours into it. Omega Ruby, we know it goes next to Alpha Sapphire. Super Pokemon Rumble. This was just yeah, it was cool once. It's like, oh, it's a new thing. Let's play it. Actually, this one is not the newest one. It was Pokemon Rumble. I guess it's this. No, it's not this one. Where is Pokemon Rumble? Right here. I have no idea. There are too many games. This is when you realize how many Pokemon games there are. But yeah, whatever. There for me. Pokemon Rumbles, they're all the same. It's like it's cool once and you're done with it. So I'd say same thing for this one. Although I never played it, but I'm gonna say it's the same thing. Pokemon Snap. So I did play the original Pokemon Snap on my cousin's Nintendo 64, but I hardly remember it. I've never played the new Snap. This is something that I'm planning to do on stream. If you guys are interested, let me know. I will definitely get the game and play it on stream. But for me, I'm gonna put it here, and many of you will be very mad about it because you'll assume that, oh, Pokemon Snap is a great game, you have to love it, yay. But I never really played it, so you know, I shouldn't really have to. But I never really played it, so I shouldn't really have to put it somewhere higher than that. Pokemon Sun has to go alongside Pokemon Moon. Okay, this mystery dungeon is the one that I played the most, but still, for the same reason as the others, it's the one I played the most, and I still did not finish it anyway. So actually, I'm not sure if this one is the one I played the most or if it's the one on the Switch. I think it's the one on the Switch that I played the most, but it's exactly the same thing. Uh, I don't care about these sort of games. Okay, so this I assume it's Ultra Moon, and here's the fun fact about Ultra Moon. When I played Pokemon Sun and Moon, I played them, and I was like, these games are very meh. I know that today, in retrospect, it's basically the same thing as Pokemon Black. When they came out, I'm like, I don't really enjoy them that much. But then you play it, and then time goes by, and other games start coming out, and afterwards you're like, they're actually good games. And when you replay them, they're actually decent games. Now, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I had absolutely never played it until last year when I was working on a video for an Extreme Nuzlocke on it, and it was so much fun. Not only the fact that I was doing an Extreme Nuzlocke, which is difficult, but it's funny to do. The simple fact that I was playing this game that I had never played before, and I actually did not finish it. I was like before the Ultra Town, whatever it is called, I don't know. But the game was so much fun. I really loved the game, and this is a great game. Great game. Pokemon White has to go next to Pokemon Black. XD Gale of Darkness has to go with Colosseum. X has to go with Y. We have here Poke Park. I have absolutely no use for these. No use for these at all. Pokken Tournament. So I like Pokemon. I like Tekken. I love the mix. It's I am between the really fun game and the to be played and replayed, in the sense that I can always get the game and play it again, but I don't do it. One, because I don't have friends who play this game, so I don't really have anyone to play it with other than my wife, uh, or girlfriend. Actually, we're not married, and yeah, it's a really fun game. But the simple fact that I don't have anyone to play it with, and I don't really like playing it online, makes it that I will put it in really fun. It's not what's cool once. It's a really fun game. Pokemon Box, same logic as these. Pokemon White 2. Uh, Top. Okay, it just jumps back here. Actually, a fun thing that I never noticed. I actually really never noticed this. Pokemon White has Zekrom, Pokemon Black as Reshiram, and Pokemon Black 2 as Zekrom, Pokemon White 2 as Reshiram. They switched it. I never noticed that. Well, you learn something every day. Masters Arena. I've never played this, and I assume I don't want to. Team Turbo. What the hell is this? AU Pikachu. This game. It's. I mean, the name. I mean, it brings something to mind, but I don't know what. So I know I never played it, but well. Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. I don't know where to put this. It's definitely not gonna be to be played and replayed. Is it a really fun game? Is it a really fun game? I think I'm gonna leave it as was cool once. I tried, and the reason why is that I passed the game. There's one thing excellent about Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Pikachu is the shiny hunting method. I love it. Other than that, I tried playing the game once more. I stopped at the middle of it. I started playing once more again, and I did probably one or two gyms. I cannot, for the life of me, play this game other than the first time I played it, because there was nothing else to play on the Switch. So, no. Pokemon Go for me is definitely. Actually, I'm gonna put it in meh. Why? Because was it cool? Yes. Do I appreciate the fact that I have to leave my own place to play a game? No. I know that that's the reason why the game came out. I mean, it's not like the reason it came out is because they knew that they would make a lot of money. But I know that this is the premise behind the game, but it's not something that I like doing. So yeah, Pokemon Masters. I don't want to play it anymore because it was funny. Okay. Uh, like yeah, I played it. It was okay, and then I really got bored of it quite early on, and I have absolutely no interest in playing it. I see some tweets about the game updates and stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't care. Sword and Shield. Um, this is probably a game that I can put thousands of hours in it, and maybe for the bad reasons, for all the bad reasons that you can think. I'd say that I could put thousands of hours into this because think about it. Which game came out since Sword and Shield in which you could play competitive? None. It's been 3 years. You've had Pokemon BDSP, in which you cannot play online competitively. You can play against a friend or something like that, but I mean, you can play against people online, but not at the same level as Sword and Shield. And then you have Legends Arceus, which obviously you can't even battle people. which for me is just stupid. Like, you do have a battle system, you should be able to battle people. And yet, it's not a game that I would like to play with my grandkids because I'm sure that there's gonna be new games that will completely overtake the idea of Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's what I think. While playing these that I have here, they all have their own essence, at least for me. Yellow, because it was the first one where you had all the starters and you had new graphics for the Game Boy. You had Pikachu following you. Pokemon Ruby, because it's definitely my favorite Pokemon game ever. Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because once again, you are in a new generation, you have Pokemon following you, you have all those things that really fit well in that game. Then you have Pokemon Emerald for the same reason as Ruby and Sapphire. Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, I talked about those earlier, so I loved these games because they added everything that you needed to have in the game. Black White, too, because, well, again, I think story wise they're the best. Conquest, because it's the most different, well, one of the different games that I like the most. And Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because again, you have everything you need to have there. And the story is actually, I mean, not that the story is amazing, but it gets you involved, and I like it. Pokemon Sword and Shield, they removed Pokemon from the Pokédex. So if you ask me to play Pokemon Sword and Shield or the next game, and let's say that the next game will have every Pokemon in it, I'm not sure if it will, but let's say it does. Well, why would I play Sword and Shield? The legendaries in Sword and Shield are garbage for me. Like, competitively, they're excellent, but like a, a, a wolf holding a sword and a wolf with a shield, that's not for me. Um, yeah, all in all, it's not the sort of game that I would like to play again. I just do because I lost my save. Pokemon Rangers would go again to the. Well, I actually put it here, and this is where it will be because it's the same logic as earlier. It's like, yeah, it could have been a fun game for me, but it was not because I had to play with the emulator. This is the one though um, on the Switch that I played the most, and once again I'm gonna put Was Cool Once and not a really fun game because I did not finish it either. I can't figure out why I don't finish this, but simply I didn't. Although I know that I went really far in the story on this one, but I didn't finish it. And there's one thing that I hate: you cannot evolve your Pokemon before you end the game, or something like that, or at least before you're really close to finishing the game. And that's something that I hate. Pokemon is all about evolution. So, Game Freak, put yourself together. I don't know what this is. I think this might be the game that they have in game corners, in not game corner but gaming rooms in Japan, like a sort of arcade game. I'm not really sure. What is this? This might be. I'm gonna put it here because not really sure what it is, but I think it's another Rangers game. But I never played this one for sure. Unite. Um, 100% sure I would. Well, I'm not going to put it here because for me to play this with my grandkids, it means that the game has to live for 30 or 40 years, maybe more. I don't believe that's going to be the case. So I'm going to putting thousands of hours into it because I already have hundreds of them. So I'm sure. Well, I'm not really sure if I have hundreds, but I'm sure that I would be able to put thousands of hours into Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Snap I've never played again, so I'm gonna put it here. Although, as I said, I'm really intrigued about it, and I would like to play it. And if you want to see me play it on stream, let me know. I will definitely do it. And actually, we have here Legends Arceus. Well, Legends Arceus for last. And let me be honest, Legends Arceus for me is I'd rather stick a Pineco in my ass because it's the worst game ever. Like, no, come on, don't shut the video down now. I mean, you've been with me until so far. Of course, Pokemon Legends Arceus is would play with my grandkids game. it's definitely S tier. It's literally one of the best games ever Pokemon has made, well, Game Freak has made. And I will not say, I hear a lot of people saying it's the best game ever. It's not. It's really not. It has its bugs, it has its flaws, it has only 240 Pokemon in it. We are currently in the 8th generation going to the ninth. It has 200 Pokemon in it. And you know what? It's more than enough. But let's be honest, why do we like Pokemon Legends Arceus as much as we do? It's simply because it's different. And also because it's something that we've been asking for 10 or 15 years. We've been asking for a mix of, at the time it was Skyrim and Pokemon, and then it was Legends of Zelda and Arceus. Sorry, and Pokemon, and they actually called it Legends Arceus. But they did not give us a mix of Legends of Zelda and Pokemon. They gave us a mix of Monster Hunter and Pokemon. Now we'll see what the new generation will be, what Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be. Those are supposed to be open world. This is what we want to see. And I think that if they really nail that, that is gonna be the best game ever. But it's really soon to tell, it's really soon to know. So for now, this is my current list. I hope you like it. I really want to know your opinion on this. Do you feel like I put the right games in the right place? Or do you feel that I completely messed up and I am really crazy and I have absolutely no brains? Just let me know in the comment section. Drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more. I really appreciate if you stood until so far with me in this video because it's not really something that I'm used to do. And well, I'll wait for you in a future video. Join the Discord channel as well. It's in the description. We have lots of fun there. We have some events. We have some cool things that we do. And yeah, I hope I could see you later. Thank you so much. Have a great day.